Hey guys, it's Jane. Well, I'm back again. I wasn't expecting to be back this soon, but I actually had a major binge read yesterday and this morning. I'm actually 23% into Infinite Jest now, which is surprising, but as I said, major binge. So I have new stuff to tell you. Between where I spoke to you yesterday and what I'm up to now, there's been one more major character introduced. This is Joel Van Dyne, who's referred to by Hal and his brothers by the PGOAT, or the P-GOAT or something, which stands for the prettiest girl of all time. Joelle was former girlfriend of Hal's older brother Oren, later was the muse to their filmmaking late father. She now wears a veil pretty much 24/7 and is the announcer on a cult midnight radio program at MIT's college radio station under the pseudonym Madame Psychosis. So we met Joelle. The other main introduction in the section that I read is that we got to be introduced to Ennet House. Ennet House is down the hill from the tennis academy in more ways than one, but at least geographically, literally, it is just down at the bottom of the hill, and it's a halfway house for drug and alcohol rehabilitation. The quote that I am going to read to you is a sort of cut up version of quite a long section about Ennet House. If by the virtue of charity or the circumstance of desperation you have a chance to spend a little time around a substance recovery halfway facility like Enfield MA's state-funded Ennet House, you will acquire many exotic new facts. That a little mentioned paradox of substance addiction is that once you are sufficiently enslaved by a substance to need to quit the substance in order to save your life, the enslaving substance has become so deeply important to you that you will all but lose your mind when it is taken away from you, or that sometime after your substance of choice has just been taken away from you in order to save your life, as you hunker down for required AM and PM prayers, you will find yourself beginning to pray to be allowed literally to lose your mind, to be able to wrap your mind in an old newspaper or something and leave it in an alley to shift for itself without you. That certain persons simply will not like you no matter what you do, and then that most non-addicted adult civilians have already absorbed and accepted this fact, often rather early on. That no matter how smart you thought you were actually way less smart than that. That over 50% of persons with a substance addiction suffer from some other recognised form of psychiatric disorder too. That a majority of Ennet House residents have at least one tattoo. That the significance of this datum is unanalysable. That the Metro Boston street term for not having any money is sporting lint. That what elsewhere is known as informing or squealing or narking or ratting out is on the streets of Metro Boston known as eating cheese, presumably spun off from the associative nexus of rat. That you do not have to like a person in order to learn from him, her, or it. That loneliness is not a function of solitude. That it is possible to get so angry you really do see everything red. That some people really do will steal things that are yours. That a lot of US adults truly cannot read, not even a ROM hypertext phonics thing with help functions for every word. That logical validity is not a guarantee of truth. That evil people never believe they are evil, but rather that everyone else is evil. That it is possible to learn valuable things from a stupid person. That it takes effort to pay attention to any one stimulus for more than a few seconds. That you can all of a sudden, out of nowhere, want to get high with your substance so bad that you think you will surely die if you don't. But you can just sit there with your hands writhing in your lap and face wet with craving. Can want to get high, but instead just sit there, wanting to, but not, if that makes sense. And if you can gut it out and not hit the substance during the craving will eventually pass. It will go away, at least for a while. That is, it is statistically easier for low IQ people to kick an addiction than it is for high IQ people. That it is possible to abuse over-the-counter cold and allergy remedies in an addictive manner. That NyQuil is over 50 proof. That boring activities become perversely much less boring if you concentrate intently on them. That if enough people in a silent room are drinking coffee, it is possible to make out the sound of steam coming off the coffee. That sometimes human beings have to just sit in one place and hurt. That you will become way less concerned about what other people think of you when you realise how seldom they do. That there is such a thing as raw, unalloyed, agendaless kindness. That it is possible to fall asleep during an anxiety attack. That no one who has been to prison is ever the same again. That you do not have to have sex with a person to get crabs from them. That a clean room feels better to be in than a dirty room. That the people to be most frightened of are the people who are the most frightened. That it takes great personal courage to let yourself appear weak. That you don't have to hit somebody even if you really want to. That no single individual moment is in and of itself unendurable. That nobody who's ever gotten sufficiently addictively enslaved by a substance to need to quit the substance and has successfully quit it for a while and been straight, but then has gone for whatever reason back and picked up the substance again, has ever reported being glad that they did it, used the substance again and gotten re-enslaved. Not ever. That acceptance is usually more a matter of fatigue than anything else. That different people have radically different ideas of basic personal hygiene. That, perversely, it is often more fun to want something than to have it. That if you do something nice for somebody in secret, anonymously, without letting the person you did it for know it was you or anybody else know what it was that you did, or in any way or form trying to get credit for it, it's almost its own form of intoxicating buzz. That anonymous generosity, too, can be abused. That having sex with someone you do not care for feels lonelier than not having sex in the first place afterwards. That everybody is identical in their secret, unspoken belief that way down deep they are different from everyone else, and that this isn't necessarily perverse. That there might not be angels, but there are people who might as well be angels. That God, well, unless you're Charlton Heston or unhinged, or both, speaks and acts entirely through the vehicle of human beings, if there is a God. And that God might regard the issue of whether you believe there's a God or not as fairly low on his, her, or its list of things she, he, or it's interested in, you. Okay, that's it for me today. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.